We are the participants of the project called ZIPPER in Lithuania 2011.
The aim of this project is to get to know the mental health care system in Lithuania.
So in this case we went to Vilnius and visited 3 organizations. Child Rights Security Office, Child Development Center and Youth Psychological Support Center. And we spoken with a person who has mental disorder.
This video contains different material given in organizations and our thoughts.
In Vilnius we met Klajunas.
So when I first met Klajunas, I was really impressed of his English skills. He had really wide dictionary and really interesting thoughts about life. And I found this person really interesting.
And I even thought that I'm less active than he is.
He really opened my eyes.
He was clever. He had different opinion and different way to feel the world.
Klajunas mentioned that he sees a real problem in our society because people are not educated enough. They don't know much about mental disorders and they follow some stereotypes which aren't really real, and then it's really big distance from a person who has a mental disorder and who hasn't. But actually it shouldn't be this much distance.
For example, he told us about the 3 things: mind, social skills and body, that these 3 are not in balance in Lithuanian mental health care system.
But we know that person is not only the body, it's also the mental and the social life is important.
When we healthy people talk about mental health problems, then we get to know that this can happen to every one of us.
When I went to this organization, I didn't know about it very well.
We spoken with some volunteers who I saw really motivated and who wants really to help people who has some problems or suffers from some emotional things or just need to talk.
In that organization there is also a psychologist who works from 4 to 8. It is for free and everybody can go there. There's no age limit. It is very important to young people who are afraid to ask to talk about their problems with parents. Sometimes it's easier to talk with some stranger than your own loved ones.
I thought that how can they help people who are doing something suicidal on the phone while talking to them. For example, you have to throw up your pills or something to talk with me. I won't talk to you like that.
When I saw them, they were so positive and so happy. So I wanted to know what is their recipe for happiness, maybe.
The volunteers getting help from their mentors, who are constantly talking with them Even on the time when they are on phone, they can call from another phone their mentors, and they can work out something to help people on the phone.
Also, they have one big meeting once in a month where they can discuss the most difficult phone calls they had. One volunteer said that there are many calls during one day. If you put phone back, it starts ringing in a second.
This is really amazing that there are some people like these volunteers, but there are not enough of them because the telephone doesn't stop ringing.
I realized that I really want to be also a volunteer because this job can make a difference. Like one volunteer said, you can make world a better place. You can help people who don't have help at home. For example, I always had my mother who I can talk, but some children, teenagers don't have anybody.
Children rights organization was a bit different for me.
The biggest problem in the Children Right Security Department was that they can't get the children out of some houses. Where is the problem? That's restricted by law in Lithuania. For example, when the parents are alcoholics or drug addicts and they don't want to speak to the social worker who should get the child, then they are helpless. They can't get help to people in need. They can't get the children out of the house.
Children Development Center was most important organization for me.
I always looked at the toys and the environment, and it was for me a little bit sad because all the toys were old and some of the rooms were not so beautiful, not so warm.
The problem is that it's the only one for all Lithuania, and if a child needs some help and he is like from another part of Lithuania, it's really difficult to come there. For example, in a crisis center there are just 7 places, and can you imagine, like for all Lithuania, just 7 places where they can stay for 1 week and get the help. There is still a dream to have the center. These children could get continuous help, not for 1 week but for a longer time, that a team of specialists could work with a child and help him to come back to society and live a normal life.
In the Children Development Center, I saw in the crisis department, I saw a room that was covered with cameras, and they can listen to the sound and watch the footage, what's going on in this room. So it's originally made for children who were abused by parents or had a similar problem that was hard to talk about it, and they could use the footage in court when there were cases.
But it's nice to see that people are caring about children.
We learned a lot about Lithuanian healthcare system and things that have to do with mental health, but
society.